Yeah, as long as it doesn't peak into the yellow and I'm slightly louder, then that's fine. Alright, cool. So I got Spotify going with some royalty-free background music, and now I'm going to have a look at my tabletop RPG that I am creating in my own fictional universe. This fictional universe is going to take place not only in my tabletop RPG, but across several video games, one-shot adventures, books, and board games. Like, I'm going big or going home. That's the whole point. So I've got a map that I've spent a lot of time on. As a matter of fact, I can pull open our Patreon and I can just tell you some stuff. Let me let me do that right now. All right, here we go. Opening. So this is a paid post. The entry fee is only $1 USD per month. If you guys want to get into the nitty-gritty details of everything that I'm doing, then you can do that at a fee of $1. I hate gatekeeping, but that's why I made it so low. It's pay what you feel, pay what you want, pay what you can afford, right? So anywhere from $1 to 25 USD, you get all the same benefits. There is no difference. I think the 25, like the more you pay, the larger your name will appear in this animation here. We interrupt this program to thank our members on Patreon. Your contribution helps Scarabic Enterprises as a whole. All tiers are equal in benefits, and the entry is only $1 USD. We even have shadow tiers for those who do not wish to be named but want to show their support. Join now. Our Patreon link is in the description. So that animation plays somewhere in pretty much every single one of our videos, outside of when we are just rushing a video out the door and we forget last second. But yeah, we've been including people into that. Right now we have 3 members, and one of those members is a member of the channel. They are our editor. Right now they're on hiatus for personal reasons. Another one of those members is currently in the works to to assist on a project, future project that does take place in this universe that I have created. Alright, so let me go and figure out what I'm doing. So TTRPG and world building update number 1. Let me just share this with you all now, because I feel as though it's necessary for this stream, and it'll help kick things off for when I need to type things out. So what happened to the music? All of these songs are really short. Man, I was hoping it'd be like, you know, fucking 30-minute songs or something, but I can't fucking find them. Anyway, I, Scarab, would like to thank you all again for sticking with us so far. Hang on, really quick, I'm just gonna... Streamlabs is working! Yeah, nice! Alright, cool. So if anyone is interested, please join our Patreon in the link in the chat. Alright, cool. So, I'd like to thank you all for sticking with us so far. Through life's hurdles, we have still managed to keep afloat and continue work in a full-time capacity. Today, I'd like to keep you up to date with what I've been working on, which is also the reason we didn't post last week. So I've been so busy at work that I just didn't post to Patreon, because working on creating the product was more important than putting up a fluff post that I didn't need to really convey any information to anyone. So there wasn't anything for me to say outside of, hey, I'm working really hard. And that doesn't really make for good posting content, especially not for people that are going to pay $1 or more to receive this on Patreon. So I figured I may as well just skip a week and work really hard and then have something important to say the next week. So here we are. I have kept my nose to the grindstone every single day and have made an exorbitant amount of progress. True. Hang on. My nose is getting blocked and my throat is getting dry. So here is the update. So far, I have logged 38 to 48 hours of map creation, 38 being the amount I have recorded. Please let us know if you want us to upload a time lapse at some point. So in regards to this, I have been using Cities Skylines 2 for its terrain tool. So it's for its terramorphing tool and I've created a completely unique map with unique formations in the mountains and everything like that. So then I can use that as a guideline to when I'm going to sketch out and draw my map for any of the above that I'm going to be doing. Either it be the TTRPG, the video games, board games, etc. We'll have a solid map. Everything is going to be very canonical. Speaking of which, my first video game is going to have a screenshot of my area. We're going to look at the top of the building, off into the mountainside, and we will see exactly how far away that mountain is from the shop. Because of the screenshot, we are able to do that. I can actually adjust the size to make it appropriate. But I cannot use the buildings one-to-one because they are assets that belong to City Skylines, but anything in the creation, I am able to use. Like, I can use the layout of the roads, I can use the terrain, where the water is, where the land is, the mountainside, all of that sort of stuff, where bushland is and everything else. I can use that without the risk of plagiarism. And it's really good to have a 3D map, so then I'm able to go and get down to street level and just look at what a basic idea of what my city actually looks like. So now I'll be able to have an overview of the area, and every important area I can do a 360 view of that, and we'll be able to find out exactly what it looks like if you're going to be at that roundabout, what it's going to be like at the top of this mountain, what it's going to be like at the top of this building. So that way we've got a lot of, I guess you could say, a reference point for comic book, for video games, for anything, any art, media, or just anything we want to create in that fictional universe. We can do it because I have a 3D map of the environment. It is not complete yet. It is very close though. So 38 to 40 hours pure map creation. It's actually probably closer to 50 something, but I didn't log the amount of hours I did to create the map itself. I only did it from the creation after I already shaped the islands, and then I logged it from there when I started doing a little bit of like terraforming for mountains and stuff like that. So I've got all of the footage, so let me know if you want a time lapse of that. I probably will do one later on, but it's not like a time lapse that would be it's not a static position. It's not just going to be like, oh, you can see it sort of happening in front of your eyes like this. No, it's going to be like quite literally gameplay that's just been sped up so you can see what we've been doing. Anyway, the map has noteworthy and iconic landmarks, areas, and zones. The map's history is in the process of being created and will soon feel like a fully fledged, realistic, and thriving city. I have created a canonical timeline of events that takes place in my fictional universe and subsequent alternate timelines/universes. So not only have I created a canonical timeline, but for all the universes that I want to create that takes place in this area, in this map, or across the canonical maps in my games or media, well, yeah. We've got multiple things that happen. So I got plans for a very big amount of things to happen. So I have started a list of important characters that will appear across all of my projects, their relevance to particular areas, and their effect on the world around them. So we've got very important people that will either cameo or fucking like full-on appear in across everything that we do. I have created factions for law enforcement, criminal organizations, and more. So I have actually, because, well, I mean, I've made my own fictional universe, I may as well make my own police force, give everyone their own sort of designation, see how the law actually works in this world, which is very similar to the world that we have now, but I don't know what the legalities would be to, let's say, for example, if it was based in LA, I don't know if I'd be able to use any media that is LAPD, because if I did make it the LAPD without permission, I'd be giving the LAPD a bad name in certain circumstances. The LAPD wouldn't be happy with the media that is representing them, etc., etc. So I have created my own police force. I have created my own SWAT, my own federal, my own, like, every faction that is for police law enforcement. I've come up with their own designations, their own acronyms, and I think it works good so far. And we've also got criminal organizations, the different types of gangs, mobs, mafias. Yeah, we've got everything that you're going to come up against, or people of importance that are going to appear and make life difficult. And also, it's a tabletop RPG. You could fucking start in a criminal organization. You could just be a criminal. It would make the game a little bit harder, but yeah, 100% you could do that. So I like to keep it open, so then people are able to create what they want. They're able to base it however they choose, but it's also grounded in reality. For example, if you're going to be a part of a criminal organization, let's say you're low tier criminal, you're not going to have the best weapons. You're not going to have access to the best armors, not unless you've got contacts, like maybe ex-military, ex-police or something like that would be able to get you the top tier, like 3A armor or something like that, or proper armor piercing bullets or anything like that. You're probably just going to be hitting the streets with a 9mm. You may have some form of a submachine gun, but let's say gangs like I don't know, like Yakuza or something like that, that are renowned for using 9mm, 45s. They're renowned for using like submachine guns that are more akin to like Uzis or MP5s or something like that, if they can get their hands on it, because they do have quite a good amount of funding from their legitimate businesses. So, depending on who you're with, depends on the equipment that you're going to have rolling out, which is why I'm saying that if you want to do a criminal playthrough, you more than you can. You definitely can. But the police are going to be very well equipped. They have government funding. They have their sidearms. They've got weapons in the back of their car. They've got body armor. They've got everything that you would need to be able to deal with, what it's like to be out on the streets as a patrol officer. So, you've got that. You've got the SWAT. You've got FBI. Well, they're not actually FBI, but the feds. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So there is a difficulty curve that would happen if you are to be a criminal, but that's kind of expected, because you're going to be a criminal. If you choose that path, you're going to be a criminal. You're going to have to work your way up to get better shit, right? And the same would be for law enforcement, depending on where you start. Okay, cool. So you got your sidearm, you've got your body armor, so you start with body armor, that's fine. But for the most part, you only put body armor on if you're approaching a dangerous situation or something, for the most part, depending on the area. Like, for example, Melbourne, where I've lived for God knows how many years, we've got police that just wear body armor all the fucking time. Don't know why, to be honest. Like, we're not New York. So I don't understand why they wear Kevlar and shit every day. But I mean, I'm not very familiar with their standard procedure and what their equipment is in Australia. I'm more familiar with the things that happen in America, hence why I'm basing this in a fictional America. But yeah, you start out with, if you're a police officer, you will start out with access to body armor, a basic shotgun, maybe an assault rifle if you're granted that, but that you would have to be more than just a rookie or a PO or something like that. You might need better clearance to have a proper assault rifle when approaching a dangerous target. So outside of that, if you're going to be a part of a SWAT team or something like that, you are going to have better equipment, etc. Anyway, I am going on a tangent because I know too much about this stuff now. But essentially, who you are, how you start, what your profession is, all of that matters, and it boils down to what the beginnings of your playthrough is going to be like, how your character is going to develop over time. Now, let me continue on with what I was saying. I'm sorry, I lost where I was. That was just for one tiny line. All of that was for one tiny line, which is I have created factions for law enforcement, criminal organizations, and more. Yeah, I talk too much. I understand. I have ADHD. Leave me alone. All right, I have created a unique combat system that rivals anything seen before in a TTRPG. Okay, so the combat system does differ from things that I've seen in the past. I've seen things that are very similar in terms of cover mechanics in general. They make sense in certain aspects. Like, for example, let's say partial cover and full cover when it comes to maybe not tabletop, but video game XCOM 2. You were able to have half cover and full cover when you were behind certain obstacles. And the only way to negate that was to flank. This works the same in terms of how to get around cover. If you're flanked, you're flanked. You don't have cover if you're flanked. It just doesn't make sense for you to still be in cover. Just because you're hiding behind a table, if someone approaches me from the side and the table's here, right? The table's not covering me. You know what I mean? So you would just have like the armor and your own health that would play. You also have to roll certain things in order to dodge bullets and whatever else. Well, not Matrix style, but gives you a bonus to whether or not you get shot. Alright, so I have created a unique health system that is complex but easy to digest, making combat encounters realistic and deadly, but fair enough to not eliminate beloved characters immediately. So I had actually come up with 2 different ways to play the game. There is a hardcore rule set where if you're not attached to your characters, this would be a really fun ride just to see, you know, like a skirmish, like cops and robbers sort of thing. And it does make the game very difficult. People will die in every conflict. But I think that would be best reserved for a board game more than a tabletop RPG. So I created another way to work the health system, the combat system, so that unlike Dungeons and Dragons where you can be on 1 health, like, you know, if you sneeze wrong, you die, or you're bleeding out on the ground and dead, and you got like saving throws and whatever else. Yeah, I don't want you to be able to be on 1 health and still be able to fight full force. That's not realistic. If anyone has been in pain or has suffered a severe injury in their life, tell me that you're not on the ground or stumbling or limping or whatever else, just not able to be 100%. If you, for example, someone hit you really hard in the kneecap with a baseball bat, there's no way you'd be able to run. You wouldn't be able to jog. You wouldn't be able to walk normal speed. Not even a brisk normal speed. You would be hopping, and every time you hop, you would be feeling pain because of the force, the G-force that you're putting on your bum leg for every hop. So I've made it a little bit more realistic when it comes to the health system. So you can take superficial damage, you can take damage that needs medical attention, but you can still continue fighting, and you can take some very heavy wounds that take you out of a fight completely. And without medical attention, you can't return to the fight. So I have made a unique health system, and I'm very proud of what I've created. I have also created a unique cover system that not only makes combat feel real, but should help the GM/DM add flavor to the description of combat. So I don't want to expand on this cover system right now. As I said about like XCOM 2 or something, you got half cover, full cover. That's not how this works, but it is very similar when it comes to flanking. Now, that's all I can say about this. My unique cover system, I can't patent it or anything, but I don't want anyone to steal it. This is a really, really unique idea, and I've never seen anyone do anything quite like this. Though I have seen some video games do something similar, but it doesn't work on a number basis. That's all I'll say. So, expanding on my health system, sorry. I just wanted to say, making encounters realistic and deadly, but fair enough not to eliminate beloved characters immediately. I just want to quickly expand on that. Like in Dungeons and Dragons, you don't want to have characters die immediately because people get attached. They got the backstory of their character and everything like that. You don't want people to just die immediately. So I have made a health system that works in a way that it is both believable, realistic, but will essentially try to do its best to keep your characters alive. You may still lose a battle, you may still die, but at least it gives you a fighting chance to win. You know what I mean? So that being said, the health system works the same for the enemies. So you can kill them, you can wound them and take them out of the fight, you can do anything to them that they can do to you. But having a health system that works like this, it's better than having, you know, you're on 1 health and you can hit at full strength. No, that's not the way it works. Yeah, it's just not the way it works. I know I'm rambling at the moment. It's because I'm fighting internally because I don't want to give too much information, but I also want you guys to know that I do know what I'm talking about. I just can't tell you everything. But yeah, I don't want the game to be, oh cool, I made this character. It took me like, you know, an hour and a half to figure out exactly what I wanted out of him. And yeah, this is cool. All right, first battle. Oh, you're dead. You just roll the dice. You're dead. Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? I want to give that person a fighting chance. Like, you've created a beloved character. Why the fuck would I make it so then your first roll you die? No! For the board game, maybe, but still. Yeah, so the cover system, I have made it so then the game master or dungeon master, whatever you want to call them, is able to add better descriptions to what's actually happening with the cover that you hide behind. But yeah, that's all I can say there. The health and cover systems combined keep things balanced throughout the fight and introduce factors that force players to think on their feet and act to their strengths and fall to their weaknesses. So health and cover, it sort of works in a way that armor class works in Dungeons and Dragons, but also completely different to that. I'll say this. I've made a game, or I'm in the process of making a game that mixes a D20 world with the Cortex system from like Serenity RPG. I've taken notes from both of those tabletop RPGs, and I have created my very own system. So it's not Dungeons and Dragons, it's not anything in the Cortex system. It takes notes from both, and I believe I've made it unique and better. I'm not saying that what I'm creating... I'm not saying that what I'm creating is better than Dungeons & Dragons. I'm not saying what I'm creating is better than Serenity RPG. I'm merely stating mine is different. But it's got similarities between both because I'm very familiar with both, and I feel like taking some of the strengths from both and putting them into a blender and then turning it into something unique, I feel like that's going to be where my game separates from everything else. And like, it's good to have something familiar so then people can then pick it up and play it and not be overwhelmed to play it. And I think that if anyone is familiar with D&D, they won't have too much trouble figuring out how to play this game. And if you're familiar with the Cortex system or anything like that, you will be able to go, okay, so that there are similarities, but I still have to learn something. But it won't be too much of a stretch to figure out how to play my game, despite the fact that everything that I've done is unique. But that being said, there are also, I mean, it's a tabletop RPG. There are going to be similarities. I've introduced a redacted that will help balance the game and keep things interesting, adding to the realism and believability of combat and human limits. That's been redacted on purpose because I don't want anyone stealing this idea, although I'm pretty sure that a certain TTRPG that I haven't actually played might have something similar to this, but done very differently. But the way that I've introduced this mechanic, from beginning of combat to the end of combat, it keeps things balanced. That's all I can say on the topic right now. I have completed a list of skills for character creation and am currently working on simplifying it to increase the effectiveness of each individual skill in an attempt to streamline gameplay and add balance to the different classes. I'm going to expand on this a little bit. So I've completed a list of skills. I still have come up with a couple more that I'd like to add into it. However, no one wants a massive list of skills. I'm looking at you, D&D 3.5 edition. I love 3.5, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of skills and some of them can be merged. I understand why 5th edition did merge a lot of those skills. Used to have a spot, a listen, and a everything else check. And then they just made it a perception check, right? I don't like how simplified 5th edition is, and I wanted to stem away from what 5th edition brought in, and I wanted to get somewhere between 5th edition and 3.5 in order to sort of blend customization with simplicity. I don't want people to be babied and coddled. I don't want, 5th edition is fine, don't get me wrong, but it is a baby version of Dungeons & Dragons in comparison to 3.5, where 3.5 is needlessly complicated, especially when it comes to the magic system. Don't get me started. I refused for so long to have a magical character because I just fucking couldn't figure out percentiles or magic negating magic. When you're wearing armor, it's got a... I can't even remember what it's actually called, but it's like a magic failure check or percentage or something. I can't remember. Anyway, spell check failure, I think it is. Anyway, I didn't know what any of that means, and I still kind of don't. But they did simplify it in 5th edition. I think that the magic system in 5th edition is a lot better than 3.5e, but 3.5e's skills, the customization of your character, cross classes and everything, it felt a lot better. It was easily exploitable, but it felt a lot better. And that's what I like. But again, people don't like spending hours and hours and hours making a character sheet. They lose interest. I want them to be able to go, all right, cool, this is the thing, put it in, there we go. But I also want people to care about their characters. I want people to have a reason and build a character, build their personality, build who they were, what are they now, who do they aim to become. So my list of skills is very much a bit too big, but I don't want it to be too small. So I'm still trying to find a balance. So I've completed a list. I might need to merge a few to give more abilities between skills. So maybe I've got 2 or 3 skills that could be combined into one, and then just allow that skill to perform all of those operations. I also tried to, with the abilities, usual TTRPGs have strength, agility, whatever, blah blah, charisma, wisdom, etc. I have 7, so I have 7 of those attributes, and I tried the best I could to balance my skills with the attributes. However, it didn't work out that way because of the way that all the skills work. I tried to make it make as much sense as possible. So instead of intelligence or wisdom, I have something called brain power. And brain power, there's so many skills that require brain power that I wasn't able to turn them away, if that makes sense. I wasn't able to just be like, oh, okay, so brain power has 6 skills, this has that skills, that has that skills, that has that skills, and balance all of them, because some are just going to be imbalanced. Like, I wanted to give all of the attributes their own needs, their own, you know, like, let's say 6 skills per ability, so 6 times 7, whatever. But I wanted to give it that balance. But that's not exactly how to balance a TTRPG. I don't have, like, luck is one of the attributes there, and it has a major role in this game, where luck sort of fails in a lot of games. Like, think about Fallout, for example. It affects everything, but at the same time, it's who cares, you know? It's like, if you don't have a lot of luck, it makes the game a little bit harder, and then you can't do as many critical hits and whatever else. But in my game, luck matters, like, a lot. But there isn't many skills for luck, unfortunately. So I wasn't able to completely balance it. But if you look at the skills and then you go, oh, well, there's more skills in this than there is in that for the attributes, maybe I'll spec heavily into that. And if you do that, you'll make a mistake. Like, yes, you'll get bonuses to all of those skills, but you might be missing out on luck, or you might be missing out on, you know, brain power, or any of the above. All of the attributes matter, and it really depends on what you're capable of doing. So classes and skills and attributes, they all really matter. I put a lot of importance into that, because I want to make it so then you can customize a character to your heart's content, and they will have strengths and they will have weaknesses. But if you just go, all right, well, this is how combat works and this is all I care about, then yeah, your character's got to be really good at combat. They're going to suck at everything else. You know what I mean? So it encourages players to find a happy balance. Find something you're going to be good at, find something you're going to be mediocre at, and then find something you're going to fail at, right? All right. I have begun working on classes, backgrounds, and professions. So, you know, like TTRPGs and RPGs in general, like, you got your classes, you know, warrior, mage, rogue. That's usually like the 3 staples, right? Well, I'm making a tabletop RPG. We got a lot more than that. So to make it a little bit more customizable, I decided that you've got classes, those classes have subdivisions, and then you've got your backgrounds and also your profession. So your background, it could be a prior profession or your upbringing or something like that. You've got your profession, which is your job, which gives you proficiencies in whatever you're doing, and then your class is what you are, like, what field that you're in, what your specialty is. So you've got your classes, your backgrounds, and professions. All of those combined create who you are, but you've also got your own flavor text as your background and everything else. But it gives you a better idea and helps you build your character the way you want, and helps you customize as time goes on. And all of these can be upgraded as well. I'm not entirely sure about the backgrounds and professions, whether they can be upgraded, but I think that with the classes, as you level up, you will be getting bonuses according to your backgrounds and professions at certain levels. So technically they do level up, but they don't level up individually. They level up with your class. Which, yes, that is going to be very complicated, but at the same time I'm going to write it so then it's very simplified, so it's easy to follow. I am halfway through the creation and design of the character sheet, and so far I really like the look of it. This is 100% true. Oh my god, am I proud of the character sheet. I've spent many hours just digging around and figuring out exactly what I wanted the layout to be, what I wanted the look to be like, and I'm trying to fit everything on one sheet as opposed to the double-sided, but I think I'm going to opt for the double-sided because it's nostalgic for me. it really does feel nostalgic for me to have a double-sided character sheet. The only problem is if you are doing it old school, pen and paper, then like you're gonna wear out your paper at some point, right? But I do believe that my character sheet looks really good. I've stylized it. It's simple yet effective, and it looks very good. I don't think it's going to tear up too much when it comes to printing it out. Whereas some tabletop RPGs have character sheets that have so much graphic on them that yeah, it'll just eat your printer ink dry. Homebrew rule set. Now this is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen another tabletop RPG do this. The closest thing... Oh, I've actually got it written here. I'll just read what I've written. A homebrew rule set or guideline is being implemented to assist people who wish to modify or expand on our TTRPG rules. Think of it like mod support tools if it were a game on Steam, but in book form. So, thinking about that, kind of like mod support tools. So if you've got a game and that game gives you the mod support, gives you like a program or something that you're able to create your own maps, create your own characters, create your own races, create your own classes, you know, all of that sort of thing, customization options and all that. I'm going to be writing a homebrew rule set. I've already begun on the process of how that would work, but there's still got a lot to go. But yeah, I'm implementing a homebrew rule set, so if you guys want to create something bigger and better, you can. By following the homebrew rule set, you'll be able to make everything balanced with the current rule set, and you'll be able to create your own custom things, and by without ruining the balance of the game. These guidelines are here to go, all right, cool, so you want to do this, let's make it happen, and if you follow these rules, this is how you're going to get it from this level to that level, and it be seamless, and you can put your own flavor into it. That being said, this would work the same for if you want to introduce a supernatural element. It would work the same if you wanted to, you know, create monsters, have a zombie apocalypse, whatever else. Yes, there's different types, different universes that I'm going to be creating, which I'll be releasing anyway. But I will get to that in a minute. We are looking into a mobile app creation to give people a digital option for running campaigns either online or at a table, as well as Steam release for a similar app. This, as of now, is a possibility, not a guarantee. We are strongly considering this option as it will encourage a wider group of people to play our game. So I've actually been looking into a mobile app. I noticed that a lot of people these days are playing 5th edition through their mobile apps, as well as either on a laptop or a computer, or when they're talking and running a campaign online. They usually have some form of a digital assistant, companion app, whatever. So I wanted to do the same for our game. Now this will take some time, as you need to program it, so then it's, you know, if you -3 health, you don't want to -3 strength. You know what I mean? So I don't want to put in the wrong values and make it take away from the wrong ones. So I got to make sure that I get that right. But first I need to make the book. And because I'm making the book on computer, I'll already have everything I need for the app. So, we want to release a physical copy of the book as well as a PDF version. However, if we do the digital app versions, we might opt out of that. We might opt for that instead, as PDF can be easily cracked and pirated. So I have noticed that a lot of PDF TTRPG or TTRPGs that have been put on PDF, some are sold in an official capacity, others you can just download because it's like, well, it's a PDF and someone's cracked it. So I don't know about this. As I've always said, money is at the forefront of everything, but like if I'm going to be selling the book and then selling the apps for a small cost, then I don't want people to just, you know, buy the PDF version and then pirate it. Like, yeah, I want people to play the game. Don't get me wrong. I want people to play the game, and I want people to talk about the game and get official versions and everything else. But I just don't want to make it that easy to pirate when we put so much work into it, you know? So, like, if people pirate it, they're gonna either way. I can't stop that from happening. But what I can do is try to make it a little bit more difficult for the pirates. That's it. I just want people to play my game. This is not an announcement. However, at the rate of progress that is being made, the first draft of the book should be finished by the end of this year or Q1 next year. This is 100% true. I am making so much progress on my TTRPG. It is scary, actually. I've been hyper-focusing on this for so long that it's just sort of just doing it. So I've been working on the map, I've been working on the overarching sort of fictional universe that I've got. And because all of that's necessary for my video game as well. But the TTRPG will be like the basis of a lot of things to come in the future. So I'd be using these mechanics in a CRPG. I'd be using these mechanics, or at least a version of these mechanics in a board game. So it's very important that I do this, as well as releasing this book will introduce people to the fictional universe that I've created, and people will start to recognize and fall in love with the characters and the environment, and they'll be able to have the map. We'll have printouts of the map and everything for people if you guys need that. But like, I really want to give you guys a proper introduction into this fictional universe, and I believe that this TTRPG will be the catalyst of that. That being said, I'm not closing the door on my video game, not in the slightest. I've been doing a lot of research, and I've been doing a lot of background flavor text in terms of what I want for the conversations, like the progression of the conversations, the dialogue trees. I've been working really hard on trying to figure out exactly how I wanted that to work, because I don't want to lore dump and just blurt out a bunch of information at the start of the game, which is what a lot of people do. And I kind of want you to play the game and figure it out as it goes on. So that's just a side note for the video game. Right now we're talking about the TTRPG. So yeah, I think the first draft, it won't be complete, but the first draft should be done by the end of the year or Q1 next year. Depending on life. Life can throw you a fucking bone, or it can throw you a wrench. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a dodgeball. But yeah, seriously, I'm working really hard on trying to make sure that I get it right. I don't want to release a half-assed product, either in book form, video game form, board game form. I'm going to make sure that everything that I do is quadruple checked and then checked again. You know, I want to make sure that everything that I release is of quality, and quantity is not overly important. However, I am working on several things at once. I do have an abundance, I do have a quantity, but every single one of those is going to be looked at in depth. Not just by myself. I've got other people that need to look into it to figure it out, test, proofread it, test the game, and I just want to make sure that everything runs really smoothly, because I am fucking tired of people hyping up projects and then releasing it in a fucking broken ass state that makes no fucking sense. I don't want my video games to be broken as fuck at launch. I don't want my TTRPG to need addendums. I want to just release a product and people be happy with it. That's it. That's all I want. And that takes time. I'd rather spend an extra month, an extra 6 months, an extra year in the oven and release a complete product, rather than just fuck you over with pre-orders and false promises. I'm not going to do that to you. So yeah, it's going to take some time. But that's why I'm making this stream. That's why I'm recording it. Is because I want to let you guys know that I'm working really fucking hard on all of this. And I've got other people that are working on different aspects of things, which I can't really go into at the moment, as I get, again, got to stay secret about certain things just because of XYZ. But we are eagerly looking forward to sharing more information with you. Again, this video. Please help spread our Patreon around and garner support for our projects. Thank you so much for supporting Heavy Heart Digital, where you are more than just player one. Yeah, I fucking love our little motto there. Our slogan. But seriously, our Patreon, it's got a $1 USD entry fee, and you can pay anything from $1 to $25. And it's seriously, you pay that, you help support us. We've got over $570 as of today that we've saved, and we're about to go and purchase a couple of things as well. So I think I've put that up on YouTube. Let me just quickly double check that, and I will read it out to you now, because I hate doing this, but it was a necessary step. So hang on. Community on YouTube, I have written this. The time has come and we need your support. If you can afford to spare $1 USD per month, you can stay updated on all of our projects. Right now we are in the process of making a tabletop RPG, a video game, an LP, and a canonical universe that most of our projects will be set in. We have raised over 570 AUD, so Australian dollars, so far, thanks to our patrons and our own out-of-pocket fortnightly donations of $10. So I've been out-of-pocket $10 every fortnight, putting it into this bank account. And we upload evidence to it on Patreon. Currently, we are looking at purchasing a lifetime license for an art program called Clip Studio, as well as a music program called FL Studio. I have a lot of experience with the demo version of FL Studio, and I'd like to make my video game music, soundtracks, and everything else through that. Outside of that, I'm using Audacity with my actual instruments. I've got a guitar over there, a bass guitar in the closet, and I have programmed drums using FL Studio. I would like to make some proper loops and everything for our video games. That's why I need FL Studio. Clip Studio I need for art. This will help us achieve our goals and speed up the process of releasing quality products to you. Come join our Patreon through the pinned comment on this post to help gather funds for to pay for these expenses, as well as covering various resources and publishing costs. Our first release should be ready in 2025 if all things go to plan, and future releases won't be far behind. The reason they won't be far behind is because I'm building everything at once. I am chipping away at multiple projects all at once, and when the Fictional Universe is complete, that increases the percentage of all of my projects to its completion, because I will have a reference point for everything we need. We dislike this part of the job, however, it is a necessary step for us to maintain progress across the board. It also opens up the opportunity to connect and build with a dedicated community, one which truly believes in our vision for the art that we create, and gives our patrons a voice to be heard when it comes to suggestions and changes. Community feedback is important to us, and we wish to bring you all up to speed and share the passion we have for our upcoming releases with you. The Scarabic Enterprises Patreon is where you can directly make an impact in our projects and help our dreams come true. Dreams that you can interact with. Dreams that you can help shape. Thank you for considering this contribution to our passion projects. So that's what I've got up on YouTube and up on Patreon. That's what I've been willing to share as of right now. I haven't been able to record this as a video for YouTube because for some reason I can't do vlogs anymore. Every time I try to record something not live, I just can't get it out. But for some reason when I'm live, I can have freedom of thought and just whoosh, there it is, out in the open, you know? So I'm going to end this stream now, and I'm going to start another stream where I'm actually going to start working on what I'm creating, which is my tabletop RPG. But I just want to say I am very enthusiastic, and that's not just because I have ADHD. I'm very enthusiastic because I finally found my calling, and I am very proud of everything that I have come up with. I've been communicating with a few friends who are very well versed in tabletop RPGs, and they like what I'm coming up with. They think that once complete, they're going to give it a fair chance. We're going to see how it goes. And because they're well versed in board games and tabletop RPGs, I'll get a proper insight as to exactly what needs changing and why it needs to change. And that is something that a lot of people don't really take on board when you're a creative person and you've created something and you're proud of it. It could be fucking shit. It could be the worst thing that has ever hit the market, you know? If you don't listen to like constructive criticism, and you could be very proud of it, but if you don't take aboard criticism, you don't make changes where it's necessary, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Just because you like what you've created doesn't necessarily mean that other people will. So you got to put your ego aside, and you need to take a step forward and own up to your shortcomings. And that's why it is necessary to playtest. That's why it's necessary to proofread, to get other people to proofread, and to make sure that everything is running smoothly. I'm not going to take this for granted. I want to make sure that what I release is quality and people will genuinely purchase the product and not feel like they need a refund because this is broken, that is unbalanced, this sucks, I hate this, what is the purpose of this? You know, I don't want people to think like that. I want people to pick up the game and go, okay, cool, let's see where it goes. I want people to have stories. Like Dungeons and Dragons, there are so many good stories that come out of D&D campaigns. I fucking love that shit, man. It is so good. I got so many good memories, and I like to watch different campaigns on YouTube and everything. I've been watching Viva La Dirt League doing some Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Like, it's so satisfying to see what a collective group of players and a game master or dungeon master come up with, and just the situations and the weird, you don't know where things are going to go aspect of tabletop RPGs, and I love that. You can have a plan as a game master, and it'll be completely railroaded, or derailed, sorry. It'll be completely derailed from anything that was planned. And sometimes that's where most of the fun is had, is when it's like, all right, cool, so we're going to face this guy, he's bad, he's got a group, we have a couple of battles here and there and whatever else, and then someone in the party is just like, maybe gets fatally wounded and they need to be resurrected, or they need, you know, something happens and they, you know, they're afflicted with a curse or something, and you need to go and take them somewhere. But that's the beauty about having the game master running everything, is because, like, yeah, okay, cool, so we've been derailed, this person needs attention, we'll do this, and then somehow let's say, for example, the person, the healer, or the necromancer, or whatever you go and help resurrect your party, maybe they are connected somehow. Maybe they're being oppressed by this gang that is run by the big bad, you know? And then you see where things go from there. So you're able to get it back on track, so your players feel like, oh, what we did mattered, and now we're getting back into where we need to go. But we were able to take that derailed moment and get back on track in a natural, progressive way that doesn't take away from the story. It doesn't take away from the player freedom. And a good DM or GM will know this. Because if you're just going to have everything on rails, it makes for a very dull experience. That's why one-shot adventures don't do too well. But I have a plan when it comes to one-shot adventures. I'll leave that for another day. But I got a plan to make that a little bit more interesting and express a little bit more freedom, let's say. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I fucking love you guys so much. And I don't really have much else to say. Just please join our Patreon, man. It has a very small fee to get in. I hate gatekeeping, but it's the only way we've been able to make money for our projects. It's the only way we're going to be able to fund anything. So I've got a dedicated bank account for this. So if you guys are interested, I'm putting money into it. If you guys can afford to, please do. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys later.